Can I give you a top secret? Before you marry a man or marry a woman, if you are a woman, before you say to a man, I will marry you, the most important question to ask that man is not, do you love me? No. The first most important question to ask that man is, what is your assignment? What is your purpose? What did God create you for that I'm coming into your life to help you achieve? That's the first most important question. For the man, if you're going to marry a woman, you don't marry on the basis of physical endowment first. I know I'm telling you what I'm telling you because we live in a generation where God is hot and bleeding by virtue of the insult and disgrace the institution of marriage is bringing him. It's so bad that the people who are called Christians, who are supposed to be the reflector of the character and the lifestyle of God, are the ones causing God this big shame. And what is this shame? The inability to stay married after you get married. And why is this so? I can tell you, not because these people were not in love before they got married. As a matter of fact, anybody who chooses to marry a person must have fallen in love with that person to a point to be willing to say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. So when two people who are in love decided to get married, and after a period of time are no longer interested in their marriage, you should ask, beyond love, what is the major ingredient and the major condiment that one must have before he gets married? I found out by my studies that the reason many marriages are in a state of mess today is because this question of what is your purpose as a man was not answered. And for the men, this question, what are you coming into my life to help me achieve, was not answered. And that is why when the marriage institution started, there was no basis or reason on which that marriage should thrive. And listen to me, when the purpose of a thing is unknown, abuse becomes abysmally inevitable. Marriage is a sacred institution put together by God to solve, one, the problem of loneliness between both spouses, and number two, to solve the issue of destiny, to handle the issue of destiny, which is the issue of man's divine purpose and assignment on earth. If you're ever going to take a woman as a wife, or you're going to accept to be married to a man, you must fulfill this obligation. What is your assignment as a man? And what am I coming to help you achieve? Until you fulfill that obligation, please don't get married. Because if you get married without an assignment to fulfill, you are already going out of God's perfect plan and purpose for marriage. And the implication is always there. I've seen people who got married, few days into the marriage was over. Few weeks into the marriage was over. Listen, wedding is one event. One of your biggest assignment is not just to have wedding ceremony. One of your biggest responsibility is to ensure you capture the essence of marriage, which is one, companionship, and number two, to fulfill God's divine plan for your life. If you are able to define that and capture that, nothing can separate you both. Nothing can come against your union. But if the basis on which you're going to come together are bases that are predicated on your desires without God's perfect plan, I can tell you the truth. At some point, you may begin to wonder, why did we come together? That is what we're seeing today. I'm a pastor. I have the privilege of listening to couples all the time. And most of the times I bleed in my heart. What is going on, God? And God has been able to take me through a sojourn, and he has shown me exactly what the problems are. The essence for marriage, which is God's divine purpose, was not rightly captured. So today we have men who see a lady, because the lady has figure eight, she's well dressed, she smells fine, she has pointed nose, and they are convinced that that is their wife. A lady can have pointed nose, a lady can have all the fine shape and still not be a wife material. A man can look mancho, he can have the ability to sleep with a woman and get her pregnant and still not be able to be a husband. To be a husband transcends being a physical grown-up man. And to be a wife transcends being able to grow up into a woman who has got puberty, breasts and hips and all that. Is beyond that. Marriage is an institution put together by God to advance kingdom purpose. And the kingdom purpose is that heaven has an assignment for a man and for a woman. And on the basis of this assignment, he's looking for a man and a woman that will come together to carry out the plan, the purpose, and the assignment of God on earth. Until you discover it, you might be setting up yourself for chaos. This is the greatest purpose of marriage. What is your assignment as a man and woman? Do you know the assignment of your husband? If somebody asks my wife tomorrow, what is your husband called to do in life? And she can't answer it. That's a big disaster. My wife should be able to tell anybody who asks her, what is your husband living for? What are you helping him achieve? She should be able to answer it without thinking twice. As a man, if you are asked, what is your purpose for being alive? You should be able to answer it without even thinking twice. Ladies, hear this. Let men not impress you with cars. As much as it's good to drive good cars, don't be carried away by cars. Don't be carried away by money. Don't be carried away by the physical things you see. Be carried away by the vision of a man. The Bible said that one will chase 1,000. He said, but two will put 10,000 to flight. That means that the purpose of union, the purpose of the marriage union is to put something to flight. It's to carry out a divine purpose and assignment. It's to put something to flight. So every time you come to your wife, ask her, honey, what are we going to put to flight today? You come to your husband, ask, honey, what are we going to put to flight today? The purpose is not to come together to just procreate children. That is one of it anyways. The purpose is not to come together to just enjoy beautiful time in bed. That is one of it anyways. But beyond that, there's a higher calling. Listen, I can tell you, I have seen marriages that looked like they were made in heaven, ended up in hell. I have seen many. This is one of the biggest blow the devil is dealing with the church today. Christians. I'm not talking about Muslim. I met a Muslim in Abuja, and this Muslim is an Igbo man. He said something to me. He said, in your state, I can tell you I have the records. He said there are more than 4,000 divorce files on the magistrates, on the tables of magistrates of different courts in your state. He said, come to Abuja here. He said, you can't count them. He said, there are more. He said, what is more heartbreaking is the fact that the people whose marriages are breaking up in divorce are Christians. Tongue-talking people. They are firebrand people, but their marriages are breaking up. And I found out why. They did not discover the why of marriage. They thought marriage was about the sex. They thought marriage was about the beauty. They thought marriage was about the phone fare. They thought marriage was about the vacation. They thought marriage was about the travel here, travel there, go catch phone, go catch this. And that is why you see the kind of social problems we have today. Have you not seen what is going on with our young people? Our young people are living in a state of mess. Children of today are no longer children we used to know. Why? Because families were not properly defined before they started. And when you didn't define your marriage before you got married, your children cannot be defined. You will end up creating children that will be a living hell for society. Today, parents don't have time to train their children because they are busy chasing money. They don't understand the purpose of the institution called marriage. I want to enjoin every one of you here. If you're going to make God proud in life, listen. One of the things that we would use to rate how much God is going to look at you and say, I'm proud of you, is the quality of your home. God is a family man, in case you don't know. God loves family. He's a family man. He understands the importance of the family unit. That was why he started the entire creation, the entire human race, by putting that unit together. There are many units of society today, but the one that matters the most to God, I can tell you without my saying word, the one that matters the most to God is the family unit. God did not create government in Eden. He did not create entertainment in Eden. He did not create any other units in the Garden of Eden. The only unit God created in the Garden of Eden to buttress how important this institution called marriage and family is, was the family unit. He didn't create politics. He created family. If we're going to get our society right, we need to get it right in marriage. We need to get it right in family.